Well, a new announcement from North Korea. The communist nation is planning its first ruling party conference in over 4 decades. So that, of course, is fueling speculation that Kim Jong-il's youngest son may be groomed to take over for his ailing father. All of this coming, of course, as tensions continue to grow between the two Koreas over the sinking of that warship. Dr. Jim Walsh is an international security expert. He joins us now with his analysis on North Korea, what all of this means. The ruling party conference is indeed rare, but given reports of Kim Jong-il's failing health, is it really surprising?
Well, it's sort of like death. We all know it's going to happen, but you're sort of surprised when it finally kicks in. And this applies in particular to Kim Jong-il now. Since he allegedly had that stroke in August of 2008, a lot of people have been watching, waiting to see what would happen next. Then you'll remember that Bill Clinton visited North Korea to rescue those 2 journalists, and the reports there were, he didn't look so bad. But if they're scheduling this meeting and you combine that, Greg, with the other things that have happened this year, other changes, other government shuffles, that certainly points to a leadership transition.
All right, let's talk about his successor then. Apparently, Kim Jong-nam, who is his oldest son, would be passed over. Explain why, and why would he be passed over in favor of Kim Jong-un, who is the youngest son, who is only 29 years old?
Well, the oldest son has had issues. He's had a couple of scandals. There have been other problems, and so aren't many Korea watchers who think that he would have been the first choice. The youngest son comes with the least problems, and of course he carries that family bloodline. So, and the evidence, North Korea has not made any announcements to this effect. Yeah. But he has been brought along in the past year or so, given various positions. Allegedly, there was a New York Times report today saying that the propagandists have been preparing portraits and other sorts of memorabilia to promote him. So he seems like the most likely candidate at this point.
So look, change can either be for the United States good or bad. That's question number one. Is this good or bad for us? And second of all, somebody who's 29 years old leading a rogue nation. I mean, a guy who's profoundly inexperienced means poor judgment, means danger, doesn't it?
I agree. I think this is a real problem. I think Kim Jong-il is trying to do in about 2 or 3 years what his father, Kim Il-sung, did for him over more than 20 years. So this is a really fast transition. Now, one of the big leadership changes was that Kim Jong-il's a brother-in-law was appointed in a high position in the National Defense Committee, and there's a general view that this guy is sort of going to be the mentor and help the younger Kim through this process. But you're right, Greg. Change can be good or bad. Yeah. But normally, when a country as close as North Korea undergoes such a delicate change, what is it going to do? It's going to pull back. It may be provocative. It may cause crises to try to unify the country. It's going to be fearful that others will take advantage of this transition process. So lots of possibilities for misperception and miscalculation.
Well, and another scenario, Jim, would be a military junta. And then that leads us down this next path. Of course, there is strong evidence of a North Korea submarine torpedoing that South Korean warship, killing 46 sailors. The North is threatening now military actions if the United Nations were to take action. What does that mean, military action?
Well, I think in this case, it's unlikely. I had occasion to meet with North Korean officials twice in the past month, and I did not come away with a strong feeling that this was going to escalate. Now, they often use this sort of tough rhetoric, but I think for the most part, the signals that I'm getting suggest that they're not looking to pick a fight right this second, one that would lead into direct conflict. Again, I think the real issue here is whether you end up in conflict by misstep, miscalculation, someone overplaying their hand. In other words, an error that sort of takes on a life of its own. I think that's the real danger, as opposed to a decision to have war. I don't think North Korea is looking to have a big interstate war right now.
Well, and they have successfully tested nuclear weapons, and they have a delivery system as well. And, of course, what do we have? 25,000 troops stationed, American troops in South Korea plus. So, I mean, there's a lot at stake here. Dr. Jim Walsh, good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you.